Of all the smart people I've known in my life, not a single one didn't spend most of their time reading. The biggest mistake people make is chasing wealth as a goal. They think money is something you get directly through some action, some decision, or some inside tip. That's absolute nonsense. The wealth, especially the kind that lasts and you can pass on, isn't something you chase. It's a byproduct. It's what flows into your pocket naturally after you've done a lot of things right. All of these right things are built on one foundation: clear thinking. So, you ask, how do I think clearly? The answer is simple, almost unbelievably so. You need to have something to think times about times in the first place. Your brain isn't an oil. Well, you can just drill and expect oil to gush out. Your brain is a toolbox, and you have to fill it with all sorts of tools first. And reading is the only way to cram the world's best tools into your head for the cheapest price. I spend a huge amount of time every day just sitting quietly and reading. And when I say huge, I probably mean more time than most of you spend on eating in a week. I read broadly newspapers, financial reports, all kinds of business magazines, but those are just the appetizers. The real main course is the books that seem to have nothing to do with making money. I read history, biography, physics, psychology, biology. Why? Because you can't expect to build a house with just a hammer. When the only tool in your head is finance, you see every problem as a nail, and your only solution is to throw money at it. That's not investing, that's gambling, and with terrible odds. I've always told people that you need to build a lattice work of mental models in your head. It might sound complicated, but let me give you a simple analogy. It's like you're going to a new place. Would you rather have just a food map, or would you want a food map, a transit map, a historical map, and a topographical map all at once? The person with only the food map might find a decent restaurant, but he's just as likely to fall into a ditch or get stuck in a bad neighborhood. The person with multiple maps, however, can not only find the best restaurant, but also avoid all the dangers and even discover some hidden gems along the way. That knowledge from different disciplines, those are the different maps in your head. From a history book like Thucydides' asterisk, History of the Peloponnesian War asterisk, you don't learn times when times to fight. You learn how power, fear, and honor drive humans to make insane decisions. You see people in the market panic selling stocks out of fear. What you'll hear isn't the noise from financial news, but the wails of the Athenians from over 2,000 years ago. What you're seeing are the patterns of human nature, the timeless cycles. This keeps you calm. It lets you be greedy when others are fearful. From Darwin's Times on the Origin of Species, asterisk, you learn more than just why giraffes have long necks. You learn how ecosystems work, how resources are competed for, and how only the species most adaptable to change survive. When you analyze a company, you won't just look at its financial statements. You'll see it as a species struggling to survive in the commercial jungle. What's its moat? Who are its predators? Will the changing climate of technology make it go extinct like the dinosaurs? Don't find the answers to these questions in a business school textbook, but they're all there in those supposedly irrelevant other books. From the biographies of great figures like Benjamin Franklin, you don't learn how to fly a kite to catch lightning. You learn how an ordinary person, through extreme self-discipline, curiosity, and a respect for common sense, became a great scientist, a statesman, and businessman. You can see how he made mistakes, how he learned from them, and how he built his character. This is wisdom they paid for with a lifetime of blood and tears. Now, you can have it for the price of a cup of coffee and a few evenings of your time. I ask you, is there a better bargain in this world? There isn't. It's practically a legal heist of the wisdom of the greats. But look at what people are doing now. They're addicted to these seconds-long short videos. Their brains stuffed with junk information that's been perfectly engineered for an instant dopamine hit. They're on social media, watching others show off fake lives and chasing headlines about trivial matters that will be forgotten tomorrow. They think they're acquiring information, but really, they're just consuming emotions. They've lost the ability to read deeply. And what's truly terrifying is they don't even realize they've lost it. This fragmented, instant gratification approach to information is systematically destroying people's patience for deep thinking. Their brains get used to passively receiving stimuli, like circus monkeys that clap for a banana and do a somersault for a bell. They can no longer stand to sit down for a solid hour to chew on a book that requires mental effort. They get antsy. They get bored. They feel like they're falling behind. And that's the greatest tragedy. They think they're keeping up with the times, but they're actually being left behind by them. The person who can't think deeply is bound to be shallow in their understanding. The person with a shallow understanding is destined to live a life surrounded by traps and scams. They'll readily believe in get-rich-quick schemes. They'll pour their hard-earned money into things they don't understand at all. They'll mistake short-term price fluctuations for long-term value judgments. In the end, their wealth is like a sandcastle on the beach. One wave comes, and it's all gone. This isn't bad luck. It's the inevitable result of a cognitive deficit. So, my advice to anyone who's still willing to listen to this old man ramble, pick up a book right now. Take half, no, even just a third of the time you spend scrolling through useless videos on your phone, and use it to read. Find a quiet corner, put your phone on silent, and lose yourself in a book. Don't just read the books that make you comfortable, or the ones that confirm what you already believe. That's not learning. That's an intellectual self-massage. You have to deliberately read books that challenge you, books that are difficult and even a little painful. When you read a viewpoint you completely disagree with, don't just slam the book shut and call the author an idiot. Stop. Think. Why does he think that way? What's his line of reasoning? Is it possible that you're the one who's wrong? This process is how you upgrade your cognition. It's like working out your brain in a gym. The pain is a sign that the muscle is growing. The accumulation of knowledge is like compound interest. The first year, you read 50 books. and you might not feel much different than the year before. The numbers in your bank account probably haven't changed much either. The second year, you read another 50, and it seems like more of the same. But slowly, all these bits of knowledge will start connecting in your brain. What you learned from physics about critical mass will help you understand why a new product needs to hit a tipping point in the market to succeed. You'll learn from psychology about cognitive biases will stop you from making stupid investment decisions because of the anchoring effect. By the 5th year, the 10th year, you'll be amazed at how differently you see the world. Where others see chaos and randomness, you'll see patterns and principles. While others are driven mad by market noise, you'll be able to sit quietly and analyze the underlying logic of events. By then, you will have opened up an insurmountable gap between you and most other people. Your judgment will become sharper, your decisions more rational, and wealth will start to quietly and steadily drift your way. It won't be the result of a deliberate chase, but the inevitable reward for your elevated level of understanding. And mark my words, every page you read today is shaping who you will be in 10 years, and is determining your net worth in 10 years. This isn't some self-help fluff. This is the plainest, hardest truth I've observed in my nearly 100 years of life. The world is always changing. The hot industry of today might be a ghost town tomorrow. A business that looks like a sure thing today could be completely upended by a new technology tomorrow. The only thing that will carry you through all these changes is that lattice work of mental models in your head, built from countless bricks of wisdom. That is the only asset you can truly own, the only one nobody can ever take from you. So, stop asking me for secrets. My life is simple, and frankly, it's boring. I just sit down every day, read, think, and then read some more. I take the time others spend at parties, playing golf, or arguing on the internet, and I spend it on this. It doesn't sound cool. It's not sexy, but it works. It works damn well.